Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest as usual. We start with three conclusions drawn by the Barcelona board after the Inter Milan disappointing encounter. We are going to be discussing on three things that Barcelona have concluded when it concerns manager Xavi's fate and many other things after the disappointing 3-3 draw against Inter Milan on Wednesday night. Then secondly, talking about manager Xavi, as it has been reported that Barca players are bewildered with Xavi's tactical chaos. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona are left on the brink of another group stage elimination from the UEFA Champions League following a 3-3 draw against Inter Milan at the Spotify Camp Nou earlier this week. FC Barcelona have collected just 4 points from 4 games in Europe so far this season, which has left them third in Group C. Bayern Munich are already through to the knockouts, having won each of their 4 games so far, while Inter look primed to take the second spot unless they end up dropping points in their next 2 matches and the Blaugrana win both of theirs. As things stand though, the chances of that happening look very slim, and another run in the Europa League seems to be on the cards for Xavi Hernandez and co. The result is not believed to have gone down too well within the Barcelona board as expected, and as reported by Victor Navarro of COPE, they have drawn 3 conclusions following that disappointing outcome against Inter Milan. For starters, despite things not going according to plan so far in Europe, the board is said to have 100% faith in manager Xavi. They still believe that the 42-year-old tactician is the right man to take the team forward, which has been evident by the way Barca have performed in La Liga. Secondly, the Barcelona board believe that the sacred cows, that is the veteran stars in the club, have run out of time. 2 of the 3 goals Inter scored on the night came from mistakes made by Gerard Piqué and Sergio Busquets. Reports last night indicated that the board had been critical of Piqué's performance in particular, and they believe that the captains no longer have the required level to perform in the first team. Thirdly, the Barcelona board believed that with a different defensive line, they could have won the game against Inter even 3-0. The injuries of Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo have come as big blows for Barcelona, and the board is of the belief that had the duo been present in that game, things would have been different against the Italian giants. While the game now is in the rear view, the focus shifts on to El Clasico, which is against Real Madrid on Sunday at the Santiago Bernabeu, and Xavi and co will need to turn things around and produce a strong reaction at the home of their arch rivals. Definitely, we need to go to the Bernabeu to play well and put the past behind us. I'm hoping that the result against Inter will not affect us big time. Of course, the boards were really angry. Laporta and his board were so mad after that game against Inter Milan, and as you can see from the 3 conclusions, the 3 things that we have just spoken about, that the board have discussed about, I think all of them make sense. Xavi for me is still the man for the job, because if you want to sack Xavi, who do you want to go for? I think it's the right decision, but I don't think this should happen next season again and he should be spared. I don't think that would be a good idea. But for now, the best thing is just to keep him. I don't think there's any other thing that Barca can do apart from keeping Xavi to be the coach for Barcelona. Of course, La Liga, we are doing well. It's not like we're doing poorly in all competitions. La Liga, we're top of the table. Come on, that's enough motivation for us to keep, So playing against Real Madrid is never easy. The Clasico is always a special encounter where anybody can beat anybody. So on Sunday, we just have to keep our fingers crossed to see actually if the team is having the right mentality or they have been drained by the disappointing draw against Inter. But I definitely think we'll play well. La Liga has been just like a different competition. Like, come on, I don't know. It's like we're seeing a different Barca there, because we have just considered 1 goal in La Liga. in 8 match days. Just one goal is something to admire, isn't it? But when we look at the fact that Champions League, we are Ter Stegen is still to keep a single clean sheet, a single nothing. Like all the games in the Champions League, Barca have conceded the goal. Have conceded goals and goals and goals. So it's just that 6 goals considered in the Champions League, 1 in the La Liga. But we hope that things can be turned around as soon as possible. Because right now, as a fan, I definitely know that we are not going through the next stage of that Champions League. I think every fan has already prepared their mind, even though there's a very slim hope, very very slim, that we qualify. But come on, don't even expect, don't even put your mind or don't put your hope high, thinking that Inter Milan is going to lose both games. Definitely, Victoria Pleasant will go to the San Siro, which for me they will not be able to even pick up a draw, except Victoria Pleasant do a magic and try to to win, which will be difficult. So if Inter win that game, then forget, automatically we are down, and they have an early kickoff that day, which means that before Barca might even meet Bayern, it must have been announced that Barca is out of the group to the Champions League. Then on to the next story of discussion. Barcelona captain Sergio Busquets spoke of a tactical chaos the team goes into every time they concede a goal after the midweek clash against Inter Milan. Against the Nerazzurri at Camp Nou, their commotion after conceding the first goal in the 50th minute was perfectly evident. It took Inter a mere 13 minutes to score their second goal, and Busquets did not hold back after the game, saying that although luck hasn't been on their side in the Champions League, the team as a whole is not doing well enough. He said, "The first goal from the team affected us a lot. It seems that when we concede a goal, everything is chaos," said the veteran midfielder. In the Champions League, everything goes wrong when you are not conceiving or you are not convincing. We haven't been lucky in the games where we deserved more. According to Sergi Soler of Mundo Deportivo, while the aforementioned words were not in any way targeted towards Xavi's approach, the players are in fact bewildered by the tactical chaos. It's not to say that the players are turning against their manager altogether, but there are some decisions that haven't sat down too well with some of the team members, such as his substitution decisions in the Inter clash. To begin with, the manager made his first substitution against Inter in the 64th minute, replacing Rafinha and Busquets with Ansu Fati and Frenkie de Jong respectively. Marcos Alonso and Sergio Roberto were called off in place of Alejandro Balde and Frank Kessié. It was only after 2-2 that he brought in Ferran Torres for Gavi, adding more firepower to the front line, but it was little too late. The manager has time and again admitted that there is little to no time to work on tactical nuances, as the training sessions they get between each match are very few. But that should not really hinder the team's performance, especially considering the upcoming line of fixtures, which sees Barcelona going up against Real Madrid, followed by Villarreal, Athletic Club, Bayern Munich and Valencia. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.